I'll see your bet, and I'll raise you 10,000. Today I'm reviewing a racing game where you can bet against your opponents. Lamborghini American Challenge, released by Titus in 1994. I played this game in an after-school program when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. A bunch of kids huddled around a CRT monitor playing the two-player. Lamborghini American Challenge is part of the Crazy Cars series. It's an enhanced version of Crazy Cars 3, which was released in 1992. The enhancements are a jazz soundtrack and a two-player split-screen mode. And this game is a lot of fun. It might just seem like an Outrun clone, but you can bet against your opponents and upgrade your Lamborghini. And it's funny that Titus is known for some of the worst games ever. They made the Superman game on Nintendo 64, which is widely considered to be one of the worst games of all time. But I really like this game. So let's do the review. It's time to burn some rubber. We'll start by talking about the Crazy Cars series. Crazy Cars 1 was released in 1987. It was ported to several home computers, and as usual for the time, the Amiga version has better graphics. We'll take a look at the DOS version. The DOS version has 4-color CGA graphics, and the color palette could be customized. You start out with a Mercedes, but you could also race other high-end automobiles. When I tried to play it, it ran way too fast on my modern computer. Crazy Cars 2 was released in 1989 and features 16-color graphics. You race the Ferrari F40. It's the more realistic of the Crazy Cars series. It has an improved driving model and branching paths in the road. I kept crashing when I shifted into top gear. I guess I suck at the early Crazy Cars games because I didn't play them as a kid. Crazy Cars 3 was released in 1992 and has 256-color VGA graphics. I noticed some differences between this and Lamborghini American Challenge. The Lamborghini is red instead of yellow, and the music has a slower tempo. The controls were also different. Spacebars accelerate, where in Lamborghini American Challenge up is accelerate. The two-player mode is missing, and there's an extra training mode. Lamborghini American Challenge was released in 1994. We're looking at the CD-ROM DOS version here. It was also ported to Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy. There's only some minor differences in the ports. I think the Super Nintendo version is superior, but the DOS version is the one I'm nostalgic about, because that's the one I played. I'll explain the differences in a minute. Let's open the box. Inside the box we get the quick start guide. Because of the way it launches, I couldn't use DOSBox on my modern computer, so I used VMware. We get the manual, and we get the game on CD-ROM. It also came on a floppy disk. Let's look at the story for the game. You've just arrived in the United States with your heart set on becoming a millionaire. As your only skill is advanced race driver training, you decide to enter the Saturday Night Races, an organized tournament of illegal highway challenges. As chance would have it, you run into an old friend down in his luck. In order to recoup some of his lost wealth, he sells you his prized Lamborghini Diablo at a rock-bottom price. This uses up all but a few of your $1,000 of your life savings. Despite your lack of funds, your sights are firmly set on reaching the first division of this competition. To do this, you must start by winning easy races in Division 4, until you have enough skill and money to enter the more difficult ones. When you feel confident enough in your driving abilities, you may try the Division Challenge. If you succeed, you will progress to the next division. Races become more challenging as you progress, but you can buy more sophisticated equipment and win greater prizes. Good luck, and remember to be a careful and courteous driver. Until race day. On the title screen, you choose between Championship or two-player versus mode. Then it's time to choose your character. You can be Val, Joe, or Sly. On the map of the USA, the gold stars are the races you can take part in. If you hover over them, it'll show information like the fee to enter, the skill of the drivers, the chance of there being police, and the weather conditions. The shop is where you can buy upgrades for your Lamborghini. These are only explained in the manual because they're just pictures here. The manual recommends that it's good to consider the skill of the other drivers. You might want to upgrade your top speed first before you get other upgrades. You can also buy upgrades like a radar detector to warn of upcoming police, super brakes to slow you down when the police come up on you, and nitros. After you choose your race, it's time to start betting. The CPU opponents will bet first, and then you'll have a chance to match or exceed their bet. You don't want to bet all your money though, because if you don't win, you could lose your Lamborghini. On the road, you'll have to watch out for Sunday drivers who drive really slow. If you bump into them, it won't damage your car unless you're going really fast. Each damage bar costs $100 to repair, but it won't affect your top speed until your car gets really damaged. You have a better chance of winning the less you bump into the Sunday drivers or your opponents, because it'll slow you down significantly. It's almost better to go off-road to go around them, which will slow you down a little bit. On levels with police, they'll attempt to pull you over if you're going over 110 kilometers per hour. If you don't pull over, they'll try to ram you. My car got so damaged it started smoking. When you have enough money, you can buy the radar detector upgrade, which will ding when police are around. You can also buy the super brakes, which will slow you down really quickly. Sometimes the police will just tag the CPU opponents as an offender, and then they'll just chase after them. Here I just outran the police. You can also bump your opponents into the police, and then that will cause them to be the offender. If the cops damage your car enough, they'll pull you over and take you to jail. You'll have to pay a $2,000 fine, but if you don't have enough, it's game over. Hope you enjoy your stay, you loser. Some upgrades, like upgrading your top speed, are limited to your division, but you can buy boosters in any division that'll give you a 10-second boost. But these are pretty expensive, they're $50,000 each. It sounds really cool though. The best part of this game is when you're going 400 kilometers per hour speeding through other cars. When you have enough money, you can buy a set of 3 passes to compete in the division challenge. There's 4 divisions, each with 15 races. If you have enough money, you won't have to do all 15 races though. In each of the 4 division challenges, you'll have to pass semi-trucks before the time runs out. You also have to watch out for oncoming semi-trucks. It's funny that when you hit an oncoming semi-truck at 300 kilometers per hour, you get 1 damage bar. One of the more expensive upgrades is aerodynamic road holding. When you upgrade to this, your Lamborghini changes from yellow to a black convertible. It's like Knight Rider. Your handling will be improved and you'll be able to go off-road without slowing down as much. The graphics in Lamborghini American Challenge are good for the time. You'll race in the rain, during snow, at night, you'll go through tunnels. There's a good variety in the graphics. The backgrounds are detailed. I like how this one looks. The sunset's nice and you can see little houses in the distance. To me, the graphics looked really 3D for the time. You'll go downhills, uphills, off jumps, and I thought that was so cool because there wasn't a lot of games at the time where you could do this. Lamborghini American Challenge was compared to the Lotus series of racing games, which had a little bit smoother animation. But I never played those. And Lamborghini American Challenge is the second DOS racing game I ever played. The first was Indy 500, the simulation, released in 1989. But to me, I'll always be really nostalgic about this game. This was one of the last races I played, and it was really epic. I was struggling to get in first. Someone passed me at the last second, but then they hit a car in front of them. The end of the game is kind of disappointing. It shows this screen that says, "No other driver has shown more courage and skill. The grand prize for completing the Saturday night races, $10 million cash." Well, that's cool, but then we're just shown a screen of you parked at the pier, and then you parked at your new mansion. I guess I shouldn't expect much for an arcade game, but after 60 races, I thought there would be a better ending. I guess he went swimming, because I don't see anyone in that car. It's a pretty nice house there. One of the main improvements in Lamborghini American Challenge over Crazy Cars 3 is the 2-player versus mode. After you select it, you'll always choose your character. You can choose to do races at the same time in split screen, or separately. On the map of the USA, it'll place your Lamborghini on each star. Then it's time to bet. You both take turns betting. The controls for the second player are a little bit wonky, because S is accelerate, C is turn left, and V is turn right. If the first player uses the arrow keys, this is really close, so the manual recommends to use the numpad keys for the first player. I mentioned in the intro that I think the Super Nintendo version is better. The save system is much improved. In the computer versions, you can only save once every 4 races, which isn't very often. The SNES version uses a password system. Also, the map of the USA, the graphics are better, they're more colorful, and they're animated. In addition to that, there's music during the races. In the other versions, all you can hear is the sound effects, and I wish there was more of a soundtrack. I think the graphics in this version are better overall. Your opponent's cars have different colors, where in the computer versions, your opponents are only gray. Also, there's a funny mode where if the mouse or the SNES Super Scope is attached, it activates a mode where you can shoot your opponents. It's weird that the Super Nintendo version came out a year earlier, and the other versions didn't have these upgrades. Hope you enjoyed my review. If you liked it, please click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also check out my other videos. I'm planning to do more.